I want to talk a little bit about some of the other things that he talked about. He talked about our need for jobs and for, again, maintaining what we can in this country, improving the economy. And I want to talk about the three focuses that we in the majority have in this session of Congress, the three initiatives that we are going to be working on: energy, jobs in the economy, and regulatory reform. And this week already, we have passed two bills that we think will help us with the creation of jobs and the economy. On our first day here on Tuesday, it got very little attention, but we passed a bill, the Jobs for Heroes Act. The idea for it came from a constituent of our colleagues from Illinois, and the constituent said, look, I was a veteran, couldn't get a job because the employer was concerned about going over the 50 limit or hitting the limit of 50, which then we would be subject, his company would be subject to Obamacare. And companies are avoiding becoming subject to Obamacare. So we passed a bill introduced by Congressman Rodney Davis that said veterans don't have to be included in the 50 member persons in a business to then kick them into being forced to go into Obamacare, that if they're covered by TRICARE, then they don't have to do that. That's a positive bill to help create jobs. Today, we passed another bill that we think will help with employment in this country. As many people know, Obamacare has told employers if people are working 30 hours or more, then you have to cover them with Obamacare. So we changed the definition of full-time employment from 30 hours to restore the traditional 40-hour work week. As I've said in other comments that I've made, from adjunct professors to hourly workers, I've heard from constituents all across North Carolina's 5th District who have one thing in common: their work hours are being reduced. Obamacare has placed an undue burden on employers and their employees by undermining the traditional 40-hour work week, which has long been the standard for full-time work. This legislation will help protect the estimated 2.6 million Americans at risk for lost hours and wages at work under this destructive rule. The employer mandate in Obamacare defines a full-time employee as someone who works an average of at least 30 hours a week. But H.R. 30, the Save American Workers Act, which passed the House today by a vote of 252 to 172, changes that definition, and that's a good thing for American workers.